What up, family? This is a training that is long overdue. Very, very long overdue. And it's something that we get on an annual basis, but we feel like it's going to help you tremendously if you just understand the simplicity of what we're about to go over. So hello to all of the Royalty Movement members, whether you're new or seasoned. Hopefully you know who we are. If not, you got Mr.
and Mrs.
Smith. And in this training, we want to talk to you about how you can make myEcon tax deductible, or how you can write off myEcon on your taxes. That's what we're going to talk about. But before we do, let's talk about some little brief announcements just to, get you in tune with what we're about to go into. Then we're going to go off.
Yes, welcome to the Royalty Movement team training, you guys. Just a few quick announcements. First and foremost, I just want to say welcome to all of the new members coming, into this team, coming into this family. Hey, make sure you're diving into the 30-day plan. Make sure you've set your goals. We are accessible. Your sponsor is accessible. Do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, or if you just simply need help or clarification on anything, okay? So start off there. Another thing to everybody in this group, hopefully you are not sleeping on all of the trainings, all of the presentations that have been taking place. The Super Saturday trainings, which takes place only the first Saturday of every month, you guys. So just one major training each month. Hopefully you have not been missing Mr. Ivy Stokes, the co-founder of the company, doing his business presentations from Monday through Thursday, every night at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully you guys, you have downloaded the myEcon app. You're following the myEcon Facebook page, and on YouTube, you have the Royalty Movement Team app. Because you guys, this is where all of your notifications are coming through. Yes, sometimes we send out text blasts. Sometimes they are short notice, like right before the training happens. But you should already know in advance because of the schedule that we've already put together for you, you guys. It is in the 30-day plan, which is in the PM post, in the announcements of this group. So make sure you're following the call schedules. There has been some awesome trainings taking place to really grow your knowledge and get you closer to your goals.
Absolutely. Now, if you haven't done this already, and even if you have done this and you didn't fully complete it, we want you to start from the very, very beginning. What am I talking about? You need to go through the Royalty 30-day plan.
Yes.
It's in the pin area. It's probably linked below the video. It's bit.ly/Royalty 30-day plan, spelled as is, all lowercase. Go through that from start to finish. What that does is get you in position to build wealth. Not just make money in myEcon, not just get education and consume all of the training, because that's great. Yeah, we want you to be trained, but it's all about implementing a piece of the things that you learn bit by bit, and you'll stack up. Because we didn't go in and implement everything that we learned, but just a little bit more. And before you know it, you look up and you learn so much, and you're doing so much, and you're on track to build wealth. So we didn't put anything in there just for fluff purposes. We didn't put anything in there just to waste your time. We didn't put anything in there just to keep you busy. We put it in there because we know that if you implement the things that are in there, your whole mentality will change. And if your mentality changes, your life automatically changes.
Absolutely.
So day one is all about you getting in position. What does that mean? Understanding that you need to be following the myEcon on Facebook, following myEcon on YouTube. You need to be subscribed and following us, our YouTube channel. We put out videos and things that we know can benefit people in general, but you as well. You need to be in position to get deposits into your bank account. You need to go through the content on a day-by-day basis. You need to know where everything is. Do you want to better your credit? Do you want to get out of debt? Do you want to learn investment terminology? All of that is in there once you get in position, and on a day-by-day basis, you're getting even closer to hitting your goals. The royal flush that we have in place.
Yes.
All of that is getting you in position to execute on your goals. So it only benefits you. So we put it together to benefit you. Now, if you're not doing it, then that's a whole nother conversation, but don't be distracted with everything that's going on. We understand. It's a lot of things going on. People are professional distractors. As it relates to the things that's going on, whether it be news, whether it be media, a lot of it is just put in place to consume your time. People are battling for your attention. So you have to make sure you're taking some time to apply your attention towards something that's going to move you forward. Otherwise, you know all the latest gossip, but you're not on track to hitting your goals. So understand the difference and understand that what we're doing is to position you to move forward with fewer distractions. That's that.
Absolutely, you guys. So let's get into it. We have so many tools and resources that we've made available to you, y'all. We put a lot of time into those, and we'll get into those kind of closer to the end of the video. So let's go ahead and get into this week's team training. And I know it's been a minute since we actually both came on live. So hey, y'all. All right, so let's get into it. Filing myEcon on your taxes, okay? Now this is major. Typically we do this training like at the start of tax season. I know we've done that previous years. I don't think we did it last year. And we're kind of late this year, but hey, here it is. And this was actually brought to me yesterday. So it definitely sparked the idea to do this training, you guys. Okay, so during tax season, people reach out to us all the time. I mean, active members, canceled members, members that we haven't heard from since they enrolled, and they say, hey, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, how can we file myEcon on our taxes? You know, what can we do? Where are we supposed to put? What forms are we supposed to receive in the mail, right? We get those questions all the time, you guys. It was kind of crazy, especially when it's a member that you haven't heard from, and you're like, wait, girl, I thought I didn't know you were even still active in myEcon. Like, okay, and our responses years ago used to be way different than they are now. So we're going to take this time to really inform you on the proper way to file myEcon on your taxes and what you should be receiving like in the mail and all of that kind of stuff. So the very first thing is qualifying for a 1099. And I'll let Marcus break down what a 1099 is, how you qualify for it, and all of that.
All right, now, perfect. So this is what you got to understand. The reason why people get tax deductions is because they're involved in business. They're involved in the exchange or making transactions with people based on the business that they're in, whether they're selling products, whether they're selling a service, and myEcon does both. Whether they're selling education, whether they're selling a membership, myEcon does that. So because you're in business, you get access to tax deductions, but you have to be doing business in order to qualify for those tax deductions. So let's get to the 1099. I just want you to understand that as a preface. Now, a 1099 is the form that individuals who are contractors or self-employed receive if they're set up just as a sole proprietorship. Basically, all that means is you're operating business with your personal social security number or your personal EIN, or your business EIN can also receive a 1099. Now, in order to receive a 1099 directly from myEcon, you need to make at least $600. So that's not a lot when you think about it. That's about, is that $30 a month times 2. So it's more like $60 a month, give or take. So that's not a lot because we have things that allow you to get that amount. But what that does is this. It proves that you're at least doing some type of business. You're in pursuit of a profit. Now, I'm not saying that even if you don't get a 1099, you may not qualify for some type of tax deductions. However, what I am saying is this. You earning income increases your ability to legally get tax deductions. So it's important to at least set a minimum goal of getting a 1099 from myEcon. Now, if you have been in myEcon and you're just making certain payments, and let's say you made $100, then of course myEcon is not going to send you a 1099 because you didn't hit that $600 threshold. But you may have done some things to at least earn $100. Well, what you have to do is make sure you record your own earnings because you won't be receiving a 1099, and that at least helps to show that you're in pursuit of a profit, because that's what qualifies as being in business. Are you in pursuit to make money? And I can't think of anyone who, if they knew that they could do something, perform a service or sell a product that can make them bring in more cash flow, they wouldn't. I don't think of anybody who would not do that. So that being said, don't shy away from making money, because it's the art or the act of pursuing a profit, the art of or the act of pursuing making money that even allows you to get tax deductions, and you'll end up getting a 1099 in your first month if you just get consistent with doing those actions. And we're going to get into those actions. But just understand what a 1099 is. It's just a form that's provided. It's a public form provided by the IRS that just basically says, okay, this entity paid this individual or this business for services rendered. And that being said, every business has to do a 1099 if they paid out at least $600. And it, you know, it helps both the business who paid it out, and it helps the individual who is wanting to get tax deductions and add and claim it onto their income. So it's benefits to that. I know some people like to make money under the table. It's benefits to documenting your income. So a 1099 by default is like, it'll go along with your W-2. So it doesn't replace you. If you have a job,
right,
it does not replace your W-2. So if you get a W-2 at the end of the year, if you worked a full year, that's one thing. Then you get that 1099 to go along with it. And now you're following both of those things, and your tax professional will be able to know how to plug those into the system, so it's no big deal. But just understand it, just like the W-2 is to a job, the 1099 is for your self-employed business. Hopefully that was clear. Is it something that you wish I would have hit on a little bit more?
No. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's basically just like a W-2, except for this one is associated with your business. So just like you receive, you know, your W-2, you can get a 1099 if you're investing. You may receive, I forgot what that form is called, to show all of your investments for the year. All of these forms will be found on your taxes, okay? Yep. So that's how you just qualify for a 1099. But again, if you made under the $600, and I believe at one point it was a little bit more than that to qualify for a 1099. So let's say you made under that $600 threshold. We're not saying do not file. Don't account the income that you made, especially if you're trying to qualify for tax breaks, which I'm about to get into.
In fact, you do want to claim it.
Yeah, you definitely want to claim it.
Claim your income.
We don't do no under the table, okay?
You hurt yourself when people think they're benefiting themselves by taking money under the table. Well, yeah, I don't want the, you know, I want to know about this amount of money that I made. Okay, but you miss out on the tax deduction.
Exactly, which could be way more.
Right.
All right, so let's talk about that, okay? Because even that, some people may not understand, like, what are tax deductions, what are tax breaks? And you're going to hear a lot about this as you, again, remain active in myEcon, you guys. This is a reason why you want to tune into all of the trainings, not just the Wednesday night royalty team training, because we go over all different topics and it's not just one set thing. However, if you were to dive into the Super Saturday, the National Super Saturday trainings, I remember June going in depth about things that you can write off on your taxes, you guys, and all of this can be fact checked on irs.gov, okay, the IRS website. So you're going to hear a lot about things that you can write off on your taxes, okay? What is a tax write-off? What are tax breaks? First and foremost, I want to put this out here. This only applies to people who are building a business in myEcon, okay? Because in myEcon, you have options. You can just come in and you can take advantage of the education, which is awesome. Just learn how to fix your credit, how to properly adjust your W-4, get out of debt, start investing, and just simply apply the strategies. This is in no way trying to get you or force you into building a business, because building a business in myEcon is optional, okay? In order for you to qualify for the 1099 or any type of tax breaks, you have to be building a business with myEcon, meaning you have to be pursuing income. You have to be promoting, advertising, investing in your business, just like you would any other business. If it was, any type of outside crafting business that you had, you're going to be investing in that business. You're going to be buying supplies. You're going to be attending events. You're going to be on trainings. You're going to be perfecting your skill. myEcon is no different, okay? So you have to be attempting to make a profit, only paying your membership per month, okay? Which we highly advise you do, for whether it's just for the education or whether you're building a business. That alone is not enough for you to qualify for all of the tax breaks that you can qualify for, okay? So I wanted to put that out there first. Tax breaks are things that you can file on your taxes that are associated with your business that will, let's say you owe during tax season, you're always paying back or having to pay in. this can lower your chances of having to pay in, okay? The way that you do that is things that you are spending money on that, again, are associated with your business, the growth of your business, can be written off on your taxes. And we're going to give you a lot of relatable examples. We can go down the list, y'all. There's over how many?
Oh, 400.
There's over 400 things that you can qualify for, y'all. And I'm talking about things that you are already spending money on. A portion of your rent or mortgage, utilities, cell phone bills, all of that stuff. And you can find this again on the IRS website, okay? They break down how you qualify for all of these different things. But again, it has to be associated with your business, okay? So you can break that down a little bit more, like what tax breaks are, if that didn't make sense.
Okay, so basically you get tax deductions for being in pursuit of making a profit. So you want to ask yourself a couple of questions. You want to ask yourself, does this activity that I'm doing or the money that I spent on whatever help my business? If the answer is yes, if it's helping you get in pursuit of a profit, if the answer is yes, ding, 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 it's more than likely tax deductible. Does this help the end consumer or the client? If the answer is yes, then it's more than likely going to be a tax deduction. Just to keep it that simple.
Yeah.
So what that means is, if I spend money on some type of system that's going to help me get in position to profit, then that can make that system tax deductible. In this case, our system would be the myEcon membership, the DIY credit software and system, and the cash flow manager. You're paying for that, but you get access to it as an individual, which is great. But in order to make it to where it's helping you profit, now, just because you have access to it for yourself, you now also have a product to sell automatically. You're in business, you have a product to sell, but you have to get that out to people. So let's just say, in order to get that out to people, you wanted to do some videos, you wanted to record some content, you wanted to, I'll just leave it there. What are you going to use to record some content? It's a good chance you might use your phone. Let's say you wanted to make some posts. It's a good chance you might use your phone or your laptop. Let's say you wanted to make your videos pop a little bit more. It's a good chance you might use some type of lighting. If those things cost money, even though you was already spending money on your phone, even though you was already spending money on your internet, even though you was already spending money on your laptop, guess what? Because you're using it for business to help grow your business or educate your potential client or prospect, now you just made what you already spending money on tax deductible. Now, I won't dive too deep in it just yet, because trust me, we're going to dive in deep on that. But think about it this way. The government doesn't give tax deductions without some type of activity taking place. Now, a lot of times people are glad that they have kids, because when they file the kids on their taxes, it allows them to get some type of tax credit, some type of, additional tax deductions to fatten up the amount of money that they can bring home. Basically, you're lowering your tax liability. So you got to think of your myEcon business as your baby as well. Now, the government not giving you a tax deduction on your baby, on your kids, if you're not doing something. You can't just claim. That's why it's shunned upon if a person is, or frowned upon if a person claims somebody else's kid.
Yeah.
Because they know, hold on, you didn't do nothing to upkeep this child. They want to know, did you or did you not take care of 50% or more of this child? If the answer is yes, then guess what? You get the tax breaks, because you have to clothe them, you have to feed them, you have to probably take them somewhere, you have to deal with the ups and downs of the things that they did. Guess what? You qualify as having a dependent at the end of the day. So even that goes with some type of responsibility with getting, the deductions that come with having a child. Consider myEcon your business the same way. The responsibility is you have to be doing something to get the message out about your business so people can know that you exist, which hence will get you some earnings, some income flowing in. Or you have to be growing your knowledge and investing in yourself to better position yourself to either learn more about marketing or spending money on ads or flyers or business cards, doing different things to grow your business. And as a result, then you get the benefits of getting some tax deductions. So simply put,
Yeah.
you want to be putting forth some type of act in order to qualify for the tax deductions. And it can be simple things that don't require much. So just kind of equate it to, why am I able to get tax deductions on my child? Well, you've been taking care of your child over 50%.
Exactly.
So why should I qualify for, or how can I get tax deduction for being in myEcon? Well, I've been taking care and nurturing this baby by investing in myself, investing time in myself, doing some marketing, doing things that qualify me to have tax deduction because I'm in the pursuit of a profit. And I promise you, if you do the things that put you in position to pursue or position you to get deposits, you're going to get money. You're going to make some money. I don't care if you get, one sale a month. You're going to make money if you do the activity. And that activity leads to you being able to write off things you're going to spend money on anyway. So hopefully that's a good parallel to make sense before we dive in.
I love you comparing it to a baby. So y'all, look at myEcon like it's your baby, okay? What are things that you do for your baby? You feed your baby, right?
Okay.
What are you doing to feed your business, right? You clothe your baby, right? You want your baby to look good, be presentable.
Okay.
What are you doing to make your business presentable
That's real.
and look good?
Let's
You
go.
see what I'm saying? And we can keep going. You want your baby to grow. What are you doing to grow your business?
nurture.
Okay. So literally
So let's
that
flip
is
it.
a good comparison.
Yeah, so let's flip it. What happens to you if you neglect your baby? If you neglect your child, you might lose your child.
Absolutely.
And if you lose your child, hopefully you care more about your child than the tax deductions. But if you lose your child, of course you don't get the tax deductions that come along with it
Right.
from neglect. But if you neglect your baby being the myEcon business, then you don't get the benefits that come along with it. You don't get the ability to earn an income that can change your life in general from a generational wealth standpoint. You don't get those benefits. So just like you wouldn't neglect your child, don't neglect your business. Otherwise, you miss out on what comes along with it. So
Yeah, that's good. We could do a whole training on that.
Yeah, just
We could talk
parallel.
about, like, you can't just take a break from your baby and just say, oh, I'm going to take 2 or 3 weeks off. I'll get to that parenting thing when I feel like it.
When I feel like it,
Oops,
yeah.
sorry. I'll get to that parenting thing when I feel like it. But some of y'all are doing that with your business, though. I mean, we don't see anything, no promote, no nothing. But again, tax season come around. What do I do on my taxes? Well, hold on now. You ain't took care of your baby in about 8 months.
that's right. That's real. That's
Serious.
And you sharing other people's stuff. If we go down your timeline, it's a good chance that what you posting and sharing is somebody else's baby.
Talk about
Whether
it.
you went to a restaurant and you talked about that, that's somebody else's baby.
That's somebody else's
Appreciate
baby.
it. Whether you watched a good movie or this on Netflix, that's somebody else's baby. Whether you're talking about drama or social media, somebody else owns that social media platform, somebody else's baby. So the question is, are you nurturing, growing, building, feeding, clothing your baby or neglecting it?
Listen, y'all. You good for that one, babe. You good for that one. Okay, so we're going to give you some relatable examples because, see, typically when we do this type of training, we will go straight by the book. We will pull publications on the IRS website. We'll go through it. But you know what? We'll let myEcon Corporate do that. So make sure you're tuning into the Super Saturdays. We'll let them do that. But we wanted this one to be just a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more fun. Not that the myEcon trainers are not, but we just wanted to do it a little bit differently. So we're going to give you like real deal, relatable examples and tell you some of the things that we put on our Schedule Cs when we file our taxes, okay? So first we're going to get into pre-COVID, okay? Before COVID, what were we doing to grow our business? How were we qualifying for tax breaks? Y'all, I can give you a whole list because a lot of y'all know, if you've been a part of myEcon for a while, we're pretty known in myEcon because we grind. Like, we run this business as a business. You know, it's what got us off of our full-time jobs. So let's be very clear. Like, we run our business. Before COVID, we were using the do-it-yourself credit repair system to host free credit workshops in our cities. We live not far from a library. It's literally up the street. We were renting out a room at the library. Well, guess what? That room costs money. That was a tax deduction for us. Driving from here to the library and from the library back home, that mileage could be written off on our taxes, and the government pays you per mile that you drive, okay? All of that has to be calculated. If we had worksheets printed off to make the workshops interactive, that could be filed on our taxes. If we buy pens and pencils for them to write with, tax breaks. Refreshments, tax breaks, okay? So I'm giving you relatable examples. Now, I'm not just talking about, oh, I bought some lashes, I bought some hair for these events. Y'all, check irs.gov to see if that stuff is even, if that can even be written off on your taxes. We're talking about things that's going to grow your business. How was a free credit workshop going to grow our business? I'm glad you asked. It's free. A lot of the times, if you find yourself giving away a lot of free content on the end, a sale is going to come from that. You're giving away so much free knowledge. So what did we end up doing? We had a sign-in sheet for everybody that attended our workshops. And guess what? After the workshops, we contacted them. They can either purchase the do-it-yourself credit repair system, or because we actually repair credit as well, they can book a free consultation with us. So again, a sale is going to come. Put free content out. So I just gave y'all, I don't know, about 5 things just associated with a credit workshop alone that was written off on our taxes. I'll give you another example. Before COVID, this was way before COVID, when the kids were small, or even before the kids, we were doing a lot of home meetings right here in our house, getting our close family and friends to come join us in the living room, and we would do a presentation for them. A lot of y'all remember that. Well, guess what? Them coming here, some of the same things. If we had refreshments, if we had food, anything associated with that particular workshop, but also that's how we were qualifying for a portion of our rent at the time being written off on our taxes, a portion of our utilities and all of the stuff associated with our home being written off on our taxes. We weren't bringing strangers into our house, y'all. It was close family and friends, because that's how you do a home meeting. If y'all are comfortable doing that now, feel free to do that, and we can guide you on how to do that. What else were we doing before COVID?
Now, in addition to that, now it was something that you hit on that I wanted to chime in
the
on,
workshop,
but you went
credit workshop.
Okay, the freebies. This is what it was. Mm-hmm. So, in addition to that, and if I lose my point, say free, giving away something free. In addition to that, not only were we doing home parties, or doing in-home meetings, whatever you want to call it, we would also do it at other people's houses as well. Mm-hmm. So now we travel to go there, and because we had to travel, mileage associated with it, if it was some refreshments provided like she listed to go along with it, all of that stuff was factored into tax deduction. We used to travel miles and get tons of tax deductions, whether we were going to events and meetings in Atlanta, whether we were going to Texas, whether we were going to, a country area in our state, whether we were going to Oklahoma. It was just different places that we were going to, California. All of this became tax deductions because we were going out presenting. We presented in churches, schools, libraries,
a lot of places,
online,
everywhere you can think of, really.
We've done some presentations. Now that allowed us to write off the things that we were doing in order to build our business. Now I want to hit on free for a second, because you got to understand the power of free. And sometimes people miss the fact that if you're putting out free value from an educating standpoint, and don't get me wrong, I love posts, and sometimes if you just make a post and a person respond, that's a great strategy to incorporate. In addition to that, if you do like we do and just give some free game, like the Queen lately has been doing the 60-second financial literacy for the people who got a short attention span, they learn something, boom, right there in a short amount of time. We also got long content that might be 30 minutes plus, that might be 10 minutes plus, that might be 5 minutes. So we do a variation, so we meet people where they are. So it's free value, and some people feel like, nobody's clicking, nobody's looking, but it's really not about the eyeballs that you're getting. It's more so about the activity that you're conducting. Now, I want to speak on free and the value of it, but then I'm going to get on the activity and how that ties into you making myEcon tax deductible. You got to understand, when you leave with free, the laws of the universe say, it's a law of reciprocity, as it relates to giving and receiving, sowing and reaping. You ever been somewhere, maybe like a mall, and it's somebody outside giving you little free samples of their food, and you bite into it, you're like, man, that was kind of fire. They're willing to give you something free because they believe in the product enough that we like, if we give them just a sample, they gonna want to come up in here.
You coming with it.
So they gonna love the fact that you gave them just a sample. Chinese restaurants are known for this. No, you don't understand. You better try the chicken. You better try the chicken. You don't know, it might not even be chicken, but they believe in the flavor and what it's gonna do for your taste buds. So where they like, nah, you gonna try this? And you be like, man, next thing they know, they leave it with a styrofoam container, all off of that free sample. Now they spend money on it, but that free sample led them in. So if you're giving free value, and you just have to know a little bit more than they know. So the minute you watch a myEcon presentation, you're more educated than 70% of people. 70% of people don't realize that they can get a pay raise at their job. Really more than that. They don't realize that they can make some of the things that they're already spending money on tax deductible. They don't realize that they can have a home-based business that's already pre-built just by having a myEcon membership. Just by watching a presentation in myEcon, you automatically get smarter. So if you know a little bit more than the other person, then you have some value to give. Don't feel like you have to know what we know, because at one point we didn't know what we know. We had to learn and go through the phases. Absolutely. And as a result, we're like, man, we know a little something. Okay, we get some results. Okay, we help people. And then we just build and stack on that. And it positions you to be the individual that people seek. We don't want you just sending people to us or just myEcon solely. No, we want you to be the trusted advisor in the sense of them getting some free stuff from you. Because if you continue to give out free samples, then they'll end up leaving with some type of package, which will be the membership. And, a lot of people have done it. I remember Dippin' Dots. If you had a mall, they were known for giving them little Dippin' Dot samples. And, you're likely going to buy. So just keep that mentality. Now, as it relates to how that ties into making myEcon tax deductible, this is what you got to understand. It's not necessarily about, because some people stop because they're not getting a lot of views. We've been doing videos for years. We got hundreds of videos, and we just last year, and this was just an added bonus. Like, we got content all on Facebook, content all inside of groups, content all on YouTube, IG, ton of content. And we were giving it out just saying, hey, somebody gonna stumble upon this information, and people have. And over time, we've connected with people like yourself. But on the flip side, even if they wasn't watching it, the benefit is this. We're putting our information out there, so if somebody does stumble upon it, then they'll get some value, and hopefully, it may be a return on our investment of time. But later, after doing hundreds of those videos, we end up starting getting compensation through YouTube just from the content. Now, the reason why I say it's not necessarily about the eyes seeing it, because they'll see it over time. If you are over the age of 20, you got a certain amount of people that you connected with over time, that if you're posting on certain pages and platforms, they'll see it and ask you some questions about it. So people will see it, just by default. But why is that important? Well, it's important because even if eyeballs don't see it, which they will, you just made something you were going to spend money on tax deductible. The more you use it for that purpose, the more tax deductible it becomes. When we first started in myEcon, I think we might have been writing off about 50%. And we came in kind of hot. We came in hot, like going full-fledged, but we were just writing a percentage of it off. It might have been up to 80%. You better believe 100% of this is tax deductible now, because we are using this thing strict. This ain't even really a phone. This ain't even really a phone. This is our recording studio. This is our software. This is our content creation platform. This is what allows us to create memes and different things. This allows us to schedule messages. It's a scheduler. It's our calendar. It's so much things.
Everything, yeah.
And who will live without a phone in this day and age? But the question is it tax deductible? So you got to understand that even if nobody's seeing it, it's a good chance you're going to record content on the phone. So why not make the internet, the phone bill, tax deductible? So you got to think about, look, all of the stuff we gave you that we was doing pre-COVID was stuff we was doing in addition to the things that we're already paying for, like paying for refreshments, paying for flyers, paying for travel, things of that nature.
Yes.
But it's some things you are already spending money on that if you just follow some of the blueprint and the guidelines that we've given you, these things become tax deductible. Quit paying for things without figuring out how you can get some of that money back. So that's what you got to think about. Like, just to kind of make it, what if you could spend a certain amount of money throughout the year and then say, you know what? Let me get a refund on all the money or a portion of the money I spent.
Yeah.
Think about it like that. You're gonna pay for certain things anyway, and say you spent just on things that you're gonna pay for anyway, $10,000. I know most people will spend more than $10,000 in gas, translation, mileage. They'll spend thousands on their phone to buy the phone, then keep it on, all of those things. But imagine if you could say, you know what, I want to cash in, and the money that I put out, let me get it back. That's what tax deductions does for you. So it's not like you ever lose money. You just temporarily pay the bills, pay for the expenses, and then when it's time to file taxes, a huge portion of it gets to be written off if and only if you're doing business with those devices. So think about the things that you're already spending money on, and the question is that I want you to ask yourself is, does this help my business grow? Does it help my client? If it answers any of those things and you track it using the cash flow manager, now you're able to make things you were already spending money on tax deductible. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. But just understand that we're giving you some things that we did pre-COVID, but it's some things that you're already spending money on that can be tax deductible, that can lead to income, and no matter who's seeing your content.
We're going to talk about mid-COVID and current to this day, how things have changed. Even though you got on some of those things, but let's keep going. Let's keep going. Because I want to touch on something else that was pre-COVID that we took a huge break from, and you touched on this, but people are getting more comfortable with doing it now. Okay. Travel. Yep. Okay. Traveling. What you have to understand, these are some of the biggest and best tax breaks, okay? Because we live in Arkansas, for those that don't know. We were traveling to Atlanta all the time. I mean, in 2019, I want to say we were in Atlanta like every other month. We were traveling to Atlanta, whether we were driving or flying. Y'all, let's talk about this. Flying, your flight is 100% tax deductible. Your hotel stay, 100% tax deductible. And y'all know how expensive those two things can be alone. While you're there, how are you going to eat? Tax deductible. If you get an Uber to the business meeting, tax deductible. Now, we have flown out to some places and we have, rented out a room in a hotel and held a full-fledged event. I'm talking about these things can run up, y'all. 100% tax deductible. We have twins. Where they gonna be while both of us are hosting these meetings? The babysitter fees, tax deductible.
Why?
Okay?
Because it helped us grow
all
the business.
All of this was associated with business. Now, y'all, we don't want anybody to feel like, oh, this business is so demanding. This just sounds like too much. Y'all, it's really not. Because trust and believe, every time we travel to a city, we were kicking it. Okay, I'm just for the young ones on here. Don't get it twisted. We're not just all business, and we travel with our kids. So not only are we exploring in these different cities and states, we have them exploring in these different cities and states. We just make sure that the trip is tax deductible, okay? Now, the personal things, of course, those can't be written off on your taxes when we take them to like a Jump Zone or Play World or whatever, Six Flags. That's not business. We know that. We're not going to even try to put that on our taxes. However, the flight there and back was tax deductible. Do you get what I'm saying here?
The big lumps.
So even if you're thinking about, let's say, because we know with COVID, it shook a lot of things up. Some of y'all are probably even missing like family members and friends that you haven't seen probably in a year plus, okay? I know because I got family, that way as well. And let's say you really want to plan a trip. Let's say you have family members in Florida, right? We all love Florida, right? Y'all, if you can look up myEcon Associates in Florida, maybe plan a mini event, maybe host an event, of your own, maybe get some people together, maybe rent out a library somewhere in Florida, and you can plan some type of event to make this business. You have to go through all of it, y'all. I'm not talking about no last minute stuff. I'm one of those people. I want you to do it right. I'm not just saying, oh, I'm meeting up with one person out in Florida and I flew all the way out there and now I'm getting all these tax breaks. No, really plan it. Plan it. Get you some flyers. Start some online promoting. Set up some of the like Eventbrite. Really set up this event. Have some paperwork. Get your workshop and everything together. Guess what? You're still gonna go visit your family. You're still gonna go visit your friends. You just did a little business on the front end or on the back end, however you want to do it. We like to do it on the front end to go ahead and just get it out the way. Then do our kicking. But guys, the trip, the biggest lump can be written off on your taxes if you do it the right way. Okay, so that hopefully this is all making sense. Hopefully somebody is getting some ideas. Again, this is an area that we can help. We might already have content on how to do events in other states and stuff like that because we've done it. But all of that can be written off on your taxes. And again, fact check us. Go to irs.gov and look up all of the things that you can write off as long as it's associated with business. Now, I know you got something to say, but real quick, I know I have a team member who travels all the time with her kid, okay, because he's into sports. Now, those trips are not tax deductible because that's not associated with your business. However, if some kind of way you could work out some business while you're traveling, because you're already traveling, you're eating out, you have a hotel stay, there are ways to make that trip tax deductible, and you don't have to even mention anything about your kid playing sports because you did business.
Now, this is what you got to understand. Why is that important and why is that doable? Because it's considered business expansion. If she's going to certain games and you definitely want to have some flyers so you're out marketing and passing out your business, because some people everybody doesn't live on the internet. Mm-hmm. So you got to put yourself in a position to get access to other people as well. And sometimes they may see a flyer and they may realize, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and it's in the studio. Go ahead and grab it. So let me go ahead and do some things while I'm already out to make sure that this travel is tax deductible. Something as simple as marketing flyers. Something as simple as setting up some meetings. If they're at games, you're going to be around parents. And if you get in a habit of talking about your business, growing your business, by default, guess what's going to happen? People are going to be asking you questions, reaching out to you for certain things because they've seen how you've been going about educating and empowering on the subject matter. So it's a win-win. The content brought it around full circle, but you're also marketing. You're also, passing out flyers. You may also have a meeting with somebody. You may have a meeting with them over lunch. So all of those things just made your trip of something that you were going to do anyway tax deductible. And this is money you was going to spend anyway. So at the end of the year, you grow from making a certain amount of income, but you know what? I got $12,000 in tax deduction. And a portion of that was money you were going to spend anyway. So you got to understand the power and the value in that, because now we talked about doing it from in addition to what you're already doing standpoint, but a lot of it if you can think about, okay, what are some things I'm going to do anyway this year? Yeah. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Take a step back and say, okay, how can I go about making that tax deductible? And I'm sure you can figure it out. I'll give you one example. And this was a local, it was, a couple hours away, but this was a local thing that I did. And this is, legit tax deductible, but it was something I was going to do anyway that year. My family has an annual family reunion in the country area. I literally did a presentation front to back at the family reunion. I was going to go there anyway. I was going to spend the mileage, but I felt like the family needed to know what I was learning. And I wasn't even all the way knowledgeable on the things that I know now, but I knew enough to feel comfortable sharing it. And I knew more than everybody in the room as it relates to that. So that being said, I shared the information with the family. Some people jumped on board, some didn't, but that it is what it is. It's just the fact that I did what I was supposed to do, which was share the information because I was wanting to expand my business that allowed me to do it. So if you just get in the habit of just living out talking about what myEcon is about, you automatically benefit yourself. And this is what you got to understand. This is a conversation that everybody is dealing with, and usually it's just in their head. They're dealing with, how can I make my credit better? How can I get out of debt? How can I earn income? It's already a conversation in their head. You're just there to serve as the person who might be able to shorten their learning curve by getting them access to myEcon. And that's what helps make all of your expenses tax deductible, because now no matter where you go, they know, okay, what's that financial stuff she's talking about? Yeah. And even family members will just reach out, or sometimes friends, because they see you're talking about it. And that's another thing that I want to hit on that helps make this 100% tax deductible. Yeah, we might have conversations here and there with certain people, but it's a good chance that conversation is still going to lead to business, or be primarily business, because they know what you're about. Prime example, I had a cousin that reached out yesterday via text, then he called. He was like, hey, can I call you? This is my cousin. We talked every so often, and I would talk to him anyway. But he's calling, asking financial questions, because he knows that's what we're on. That's what we're about. That's what we talk about on a regular basis. So now, because that's a conversation that's going on in his head anyway, he's like, let me at least reach out to him. So you just make your lifestyle centered around things that can position you to be more profitable, more in pursuit of profit, and get you more tax deductions, which also helps with the cash flow, and that cash flow can go towards building your wealth. So everything full circle. We're not talking about it from an angle of just doing it just to get the tax deductions. No, the tax deductions is a part of your cash flow. It's only a certain amount of money that you're going to get from adjusting your W-4. It's only a certain amount of money that you're going to get when you pay off debt. You save your money, you're no longer paying into that debt. It's only a certain amount of interest you may save with your credit score. But when it comes to those tax deductions, and tax deduction being your biggest bill, let me talk about that just for a briefing. Why is it important to even minimize your taxes? Well, depending on who you listen to, we weren't supposed to be paying taxes anyway. We're supposed to be getting the money that we make, and that's that. But so many people got their hands in your pocket, and if the person who is ignorant in a particular area, they're going to lose the most money, and a lot of times it's going to be lost via taxes. Well, if taxes is your biggest bill through life, we think it may be the car, we think it may be the home, but over your course of your life, you'll pay millions more than likely in taxes, because it's in every area. Every dollar you spend more than likely has taxes associated with it. Every dollar you earn has taxes associated with it. So it only makes sense that you lower your tax liability. Why? Because that $1 million that went to taxes, somebody who is not going to get that money to your future generations, now you just gave them that money because you didn't want to take it upon yourself to minimize and lower your tax liability, so you can keep more of that money and put it into something that can outlive you. So the question is, are you going to give your hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in taxes away to them willy-nilly, or are you going to implement what we teach in myEcon and do what you're already doing, but crank it up a notch, so now you can take that extra tax saving and apply it towards something? Of course, you may have some fun with it, but you can put it towards so many different things that just make you a solid individual and build generational wealth in general. So and
absolutely. And y'all, another thing I want to point out is, again, everything that you're writing off on your taxes is in an attempt to make a profit. Okay, we're not saying, let me just do this workshop real quick, let me just blow through it, I don't care if anybody sign up, I don't care if I make any money on myEcon, the whole trip tax deductible, let me go see my cousin. Y'all, no. And I'm gonna say this, it seems that at one point the IRS was a little bit more lenient. You can make literally $0 in business, and you can have thousands of dollars in tax write-offs, and you just take it all as a loss. Like, I tried my best, I didn't make any money, better luck next year, I'm going to try my best again. At one point, it seemed that was okay. They were kind of letting that fly. But now, no, they want to see if you're writing things off on your taxes. We want to also see income. If you're writing this off for multiple years, we want to see an increase in income. Y'all, they got to be able to scale it. They're just not going to let you get all of these tax breaks for absolutely free. So absolutely, if you do a free workshop somewhere, you need to be following up with everybody that attended that event. You need to, see if they have any questions, see if they're interested in the membership, try to close that sale, because at the end of the day, you're in business. And being in business, we're helping people, and we're also on the flip side trying to make some money, okay? And they want to see that you have income along with all of these tax breaks that you're claiming, guys. It has to line up. I'm not saying that if you got $30,000 in expenses, you need to make at least $30,000. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if you got $30,000 in tax write-offs that you're filing on your taxes, saying that you only made $100 in business, make that make sense. You invested $30,000 into your business, and for the entire year, you only made $100. Y'all, red flag for the IRS, and we don't want to put you in that situation. You really do need to be working your business. You want to piggyback off that before I close it? Okay.
Yes, because this is what you got to understand. Even a person who, quote unquote, sucks in business will make some money.
Yes.
You can just go through and just ask them, hey, are you interested in a home-based business? No. Are you interested in a home-based business? No. You interested in a home-based business? You can do that to 100 people. Somebody will be like, yeah, what you got? Gonna be interested.
Yeah.
Even if you suck. Now, you crank it up a notch and you give them a sample. You leave with some value. You give them something that they can, take a look at. That lets them know, you know what, that just makes sense. I am overpaying in taxes. I could benefit from that pay raise and get $200 to $800 extra flowing in per month that can help me get a. Yeah, how do I sign up? What, $39 to get started, or $99 to get? Yeah, I'm losing that anyway. Because what you got to understand, you got to get the conviction. Hence, another reason why the 30-day plan is so important. Because if you get the conviction, then it'll be easy to share myEcon, because you will know it don't cost a person to be in myEcon. It shouldn't be costing you to be in myEcon. It costs you not to be in myEcon. Why? Because the government pays the bill, as Mr. Stokes always says it. If you're in myEcon and you're implementing the strategies, even if you didn't build the business, if you learn the strategies, then you can say, you know what? Me putting a certain amount of money into my 401k, being tax deductible, is worth more than what I paid in the whole year being in myEcon. So it doesn't cost you to be in business. But once you get that conviction, and if you go through the 30-day plan, you'll start to develop that conviction. And once you get that conviction and you start to share it more on a regular basis, by default, leading with value, you will not be able to not make money, if that makes sense. You can avoid making some money. So if a person, and we talk to people who, yeah, I've been trying this, I do the post, it's just because you tap out. If you follow the stuff we're talking about, you're going to make some form of money. It's just either you gave up, or you just, really weren't doing it consistently. People can look on your page and see that you're talking about everybody else, baby, everybody else's business, sharing everybody else's stuff and not your own, and not leading with value. So if a person reaches out to us, we know if you didn't get any deposits on a regular basis, I don't care if it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, if you didn't make get any deposits, then we know that you're not really trying to build a business, because by default you will make money. Same as we know it, the IRS is like, okay. Because for us, when we started claiming tax deductions, initially they may have thought, okay, they may just be trying to finagle the system and just get some tax deductions because they realize, I can get some tax write-offs, which many people still do. But then they start seeing some progress. Then they say, okay, hold on. This is their full-time income now. They got rid of their jobs to do this. These people must be serious. So it's a total different game changer. Not saying you got to leave your job, but if you're just doing those things, then by default, you keep more of your tax dollars. You got to get angry, or you got to get mad about people just being in your pockets and you don't know where the money went. You have no clue where those tax dollars went. They can tell you whatever. Tax dollars went to this. You have no clue. But let's at least legally minimize the taxes that we can control, which is our income tax, which can be controlled via tax deductions that we're telling you about inside of myEcon.
Yeah, and so the last thing that I wanted to touch on, y'all, is how the things that we've been writing off and that we are going to write off this tax season mid-COVID, okay? With COVID happening and restricting you to your home, y'all, we've been on this from the very beginning, doing videos, more online marketing. If you notice, everything is transitioning into online. You have people paying for Zoom. Tax write-off, because now you're doing more virtual meetings. You're doing more things like this. Your trainings are now all virtual. Some people have purchased additional apps. Now you have to really get creative with your advertising. So you may purchase like the Canva, upgrading that so that you can get more quality memes and advertising out there. You have to also kind of go with the trends. So like one of the things for me and Marcus, we started becoming a little bit more active on TikTok. And some of y'all, you think it's just a dance app, but there's a lot of informative, very educational things on TikTok. But what's one of the things that I started doing? I started researching TikTok. We are not people that will shy away from investing in marketing. If we want to crank it up on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, but we don't really know how that stuff works. We've been trying it on our own. We feel like we're getting nowhere. We may pay for marketing training from an expert, somebody that might be killing it in that area. And guess what? It's a tax write-off. You see a lot of people investing in like online courses. We've purchased some online courses, a tax write-off, as long as it's something that's going to help you to grow your business. One of the things that Marcus touched on, like the lighting, because now you're doing more videos. If you purchase a ring light, like what we're using right now, it's tax deductible. If you need a phone stand, if you need a new laptop, if you need a new tablet, it's tax deductible. So even though we've transitioned online, you just have to crank up your marketing online. If you have to pay for that to learn the proper ways to market online and you're not utilizing some of the resources that we have out there for you, then if you pay for it, it's tax deductible. And I mean, I can go on and on with different things like, let's say like Marcus, he has on his t-shirt with his brand. We have buttons. Usually I'm wearing one that says debt free is the new sexy. That merchandise, all of that tax deductible. We earn income that way as well. So you just have to really think, as long as it's contributing to the growth of your business, getting the word out, advertising, it can be written off on your taxes. So now it's just more digital products that we're writing off on our taxes, but we can show how it contributed to us making money in myEcon.
Absolutely. And if you got separate businesses, like this is a separate business, this wouldn't be a tax deduction for myEcon.
Not for myEcon,
but for
no.
Cinco Smith and what I do with affirmation music and just affirmations in general, that's a tax deduction in that pot. So if you have some other things that you do, make it apply to that. Everything is in myEcon. But what you got to understand is you're incentivized to make money. You're incentivized to pursue a profit. That doesn't happen with just a job. Yeah, they're going to pay you a little more. You work a little overtime, But you're incentivized by the IRS or the government to be in pursuit of a profit. So the money that you're investing in yourself, you mean to tell me I get tax deductions for strengthening my knowledge and getting wiser about marketing? I increase my tax deduction by getting smarter of how to operate on social media. Like she said, at one point, it used to be a little easy to get certain tax deduction even if you didn't make money. But over time, it can catch up with you because they know that a person will make something if they invested no money and just time. But sometimes if you invest money, you'll make money as well. But if you got all these tax deductions, that'll catch up with you. So we know better, and so do they. But as it relates to social media, at one point, they didn't really understand social media. They thought that people just on there posting. What do you mean? You writing off social media. This is what you call marketing. But some of them same people who had something to say about people trying to grow their business on social media brought their butt right on over to social media.
Sure did.
And we talking about top-notch people, whether it's tax corporations, the government, they on social media.
Yes.
They brought their butt right on over there. So you got to understand that this should be a vehicle that you use not to waste time, not to kill time, not to just post, not to just scroll, but to build wealth. And when we tell you, hey, do some videos, record some content, make some posts, look at our posts per day that you can use, look at our duplication site where you can record videos. We're not just trying to waste your time. We're trying to position you for not only profit, but making the things that you're already using on a regular basis, spending money on a regular basis. Anyway, we're trying to make those things tax deductible.
Yeah, and last thing, you guys, these tax breaks aren't just going to automatically apply themselves to your tax return.
What do you have to do?
Okay? You need another app that you should already have on your phone. It's called the Cash Flow Manager. It is included in your myEcon membership. It is your record-keeping software. Guys, although you can pull bank statements, that's frustrating if you were to get audited. I guarantee you want to be more organized than that. And I throw that word out loosely because it's not a scary thing if you're organized. Okay? You need to make sure every time you're spending money associated with your business, you're logging that into your cash flow manager. Okay? We're not going to get into a tutorial. Maybe, I know we already have plenty of them, especially on our YouTube channel, showing how the cash flow manager works. Guys, you as the business owner are responsible for logging those receipts. When you get a receipt from a business, whether it's a digital receipt or physical receipts, it takes literally 15 seconds to upload a picture into your cash flow manager. Now when tax season comes around, and I was really good about this last year, every quarter, like we keep our receipts in a certain place, and I made envelopes and everything, y'all. And every quarter, I would go in and log all of the receipts for that quarter if I couldn't do it at that very time, okay? Y'all, now when tax time comes around, it's organized. You have everything that you spent on travel, everything that you spent on marketing, everything that you spent on trainings and advertising, everything that you spent on workshops. And if you have a tax preparer, you just hand that to your tax preparer. And I guarantee you, your tax preparer is going to love you for being so organized. If you hand them a shoebox full of receipts, well, expect shoebox results because they're not going to dig through all of your receipts. I guarantee you. Why? When you have a free, another free tool accessible to you where you can log all of the receipts yourself, you guys. Make it easy on yourself. Take a little time, every day, every week, every quarter, every 6 months to log your receipts because, again, receipts equals cash, okay? Receipts equals cash. That's what we say as it pertains to tax breaks.
So, are you leaving cash on the table? Because if you're not claiming those deductions, then you're leaving cash on the table. If you're not putting forth activity to be in pursuit of profit and make money, then you're leaving money on the table. You're really giving away some of your children's wealth. You're nurturing somebody else's baby, but neglecting your own, because receipts do equal cash, and it's something that you do on a day-to-day basis. Many times, every day, you're going to spend some money that could be a tax deduction, at least weekly. That could be a tax deduction, but if you're not recording it, then that's that. And some people think, well, I get my accountant or have my tax preparer to finagle some numbers for me. Nah, this ain't that, because we know some tax preparers do want to fatten up your refund just so they can say that they the GOAT or make you, get the amount of money that you want. But this is what you got to understand. It's what you do on a daily basis that strengthens your ability to keep more of your money. So you got to understand that you are the only one that's with you on a regular basis. Nobody else is with you when you're swiping your card or paying for certain automatic or monthly renewal fees on certain things that could be tax deductible. Only you see that, only you know that, so you should be the one recording it. I said something recently, and I conclude with this personally, but I said something recently in the video, expecting your accountant or someone else to be responsible for your tax deductions is like expecting your dentist to be responsible for your teeth. You go to your dentist and you want them to correct what you've been doing on a day-to-day basis. No, it's what you've been eating on a regular basis, how less you don't brush as frequently as you should. Those are the things that you have to do. Same is true with tax deductions. When you're spending money, it's an opportunity for some of the money that you're spending to be tax deductible. Hence, you getting some of the money you just spent back. So it incentivizes you to spend money on certain things that can help grow you, yourself as an individual, your knowledge base, your business, the clients, understanding of your product or service, all circling back to you. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yes, y'all. So listen, we are almost done with the first quarter of the year, right? You still have ample time to run your business the right way, okay? You have plenty of time to make income. You have plenty of time to rack up tax deductions so that next tax season, you can do this thing legit. You can do this the right way. Let's get to work. Let's really build this business the way they're supposed to be built. Let's be professional. Let's make sure our record keeping is on point, and we can really, really win big in 2021.
And if you've never received a 1099 from myEcon, let that be a mini goal.
Make that your goal. Yes.
Make that a mini goal. $600. Come on now. $600 to receive a 1099 for myEcon, which helps solidify the fact that you're being paid for something. And that something comes from you doing the things that we teach and preach. And it's all in the 30-day plan as well. You got anything else before we conclude?
Nope. Mission statement. Let's
All
go.
right, listen. You see, we live in a world where we're conditioned for failure. And oftentimes we have been programmed or fooled into mediocrity. So people find themselves living like peasants instead of the royalty that they were meant to be. But you see, here in the royalty movement, we see the king in you. We see that queen in you from start to finish. It's just time for you to take your seat on the throne, because this is where we uplift your character, your confidence, and your cash flow. As royalty, you should establish a solid financial foundation that'll soon lead to your abundance and thriving empire. Take your seat on the throne. You are royalty. Salute.